Hi there, and welcome to today's lesson on 7.5. Today we're going to talk about being able to raise a fraction to a power. And so our essential question here is, what happens to the numerator and denominator when a fraction is raised to a power? So again, feel free, if we need to, pause this video at any time to catch up with notes. So 7.5. So to start, we're going to do some review here, try to find a pattern. So we look at this first one, where we have 2/3, we have a fraction raised to the power, so we have it squared. What we're going to do, right, really, this is telling us to write it twice. So I'm going to do 2/3 times 2/3. All right, when we multiply fractions, we just multiply across. 2 times 2, 4, 3 times 3 gives us 9. Okay, so we have that right there. We'll do the same thing with this next one, right? 3/4 to the third means we're writing 3/4 times 3/4 times 3/4. So we multiply that across. But I want to see if we notice the pattern. Notice we have 3 times 3 times 3. Or if you want to think of that another way, right? 3 to the third power. Okay, then we have 4 times 4 times 4. Let's think of that another way, 4 to the third power. Right, maybe we notice the pattern. We'll try this one more time. Right, we have 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2. So if we rewrite this, right, we really have 1 to the 4th over 2 to the 4th. Right, so if we're noticing the pattern here, think of that power, we're distributing it to both terms, right? 2 squared, 3 squared. Well, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, okay? 3 cubed, 4 cubed. That's where we get our answer. 1 to the 4th, 2 to the 4th. So think we're distributing that power to both terms. That's what we're going to talk about right here. So to raise a quotient to a power, raise the numerator and denominator to that power. So basic example here, right? We have a over b raised to the nth power. Well, all we're going to do is distribute that n to both terms. So it's a to the n over b to the n. Numerical example here, right? 3/5 to the third, 3 to the third over 5 to the third. And since we know numerical values, we can go one step further. If it's just variables here, right? X over y to the 5th power, well, then we distribute that 5 to both of those. We get x to the 5th over y to the 5th, and we can't simplify that anymore. So again, if we need to pause, feel free to do so. Feel free to do so as we're going to move on to this next problem here. So notice we have w to the 5th over 4 in parentheses, then raised to the third power. So right, we got to think back to previous lessons. If we have power to a power, right? So let's think about this. We're really w to the 5th times 3, power to a power, over 4 to the third. Right? We distributed that 3 to both terms. So this is really w to the 15th over 4 to the third, which would be 64. So next example here, again, notice now we have a couple pieces here. We need to make sure not only do we distribute it to the top, but we distribute it to both pieces. Not only do we distribute it to the bottom, but we distribute it to both pieces. So first we're going to rewrite this. One quick thing. What we can do, and what I think we should do here, is first simplify if possible. Simplify if possible. So notice, let's focus just on the 12 over 15. Right, if we have 12 over 15, we can reduce that if we divide both by 3 to 4 over 5. So all I'm going to do is rewrite this problem. And we can actually go one step further here. Let's focus on p to the third over p. Right, if we have p to the third over p, we can do top minus bottom, so 3 minus 1, which would give us p squared on top. Awesome, so now we have our new one. Now we can distribute that 4 and have a little nicer of a problem here. So that 4 goes to both of those, goes down here. So really we have 4 to the 4th, p to the 2 times 4 over 5 to the 4th. So now we got to figure out, okay, well, what's 4 to the 4th? Well, 4 to the 4th is 256. P to the 2 times 4 would be p to the 8th over 5 to the 4th, which is 620. So right, first we simplified, then we are able to make our problem a little easier. Right? So if you're able to simplify, try doing that first. So, last one here. Last one. What is the simplified form of this? So we're going to distribute that negative 4 to all of our terms. So we have 3 to the negative 4th, c to the 3 times negative 4, over d to the 2 times negative 4. Right, we're distributing that negative 4. Right, we learned last section, power to a power, we multiply them together. That's where we got that. So we're going to first figure out, rewrite this. So 3 to the negative 4th, c to the negative 12th, over d to the negative 8th. Well, notice we have a lot of negative exponents here. So what we're going to do to make our lives a little easier, we're going to change them, right? To get rid of a negative exponent, if it's on the numerator, it comes down to the denominator. If it's on the denominator, it comes up to the numerator. So we can actually rewrite this like this, d to the 8th over 3 to the 4th, c to the 12th. Right? We flipped where they were, so now they are positive. And now our last step is just, what is 3 to the 4th? Well, d to the 8th over 81, c to the 12th. So that is it for today's lesson on 7.5, talking about raising a fraction to a power.